So what I've got here is the new Garmin 510 GPS cycle computer, and for comparison purposes, the current Garmin 500 computer. These are both really training tools. They're not navigational devices at all because they don't have map functionality. But as you can see, the 510 is significantly bigger than the 500, and it's also got quite a bit more functionality, so it's probably fair to say that it's a standalone device. So for the purposes of this review, I'll just talk about the 510 and the new functionality that it's got. You could accurately describe this as a mid-sized cycle computer. It's definitely not as big as the 800 or the 810, and it's obviously bigger than the 500 that you've just seen. The number of physical buttons are reduced compared to the 500. There's a start-stop button here, there's a lap button, and there's the all-important on-off button here. On the back, it's got a mount and a USB port that's protected from the elements by this rubber cap. Okay, I'll just power it on now. One push of the button. I don't think we're going to pick up a GPS signal in the studio here, but it doesn't take too long to boot up. And once it does, you'll be able to see the opening screen that you get, which is the ride screen. So once you hit this, the easiest thing to do and the most common thing that you'll probably do is ride. So press that, and that brings up the fields that you've previously set. So this is the first screen you'll see, and this is the one that you've previously configured. I won't go through that now. All you have to do is hit the start-stop button and you're good to go. As you ride, you can flick between the screens that you've set up previously, like so. I often do this during a long ride just to keep myself interested, and I want to know how the numbers are looking, whether I'm on a good day or not, and the power numbers normally don't lie here. I've got 3 screens set up. The elevation here that you won't see much of because we're not moving, but that gives you an elevation trace as you ride along. There's also other screens like a map, a very basic map. It's just a GPS trace. A virtual partner that you can race against, and workouts that you can sort of set up previously and try and follow the structure there. But there are loads of different screens. You can set up 5 different screens with 10 fields each, which is way more than you need, but it's kind of nice to have that option. Once you've finished your ride, just hit stop, and you're given the option to save the ride or discard it. In this case, it wasn't much of a ride, but I'll save it anyway. One touch, and it saves it to your history. And if you've done a personal best, either distance ridden or meters climbed or best power for 5 minutes or 20 minutes, it'll give you this nice little feedback screen at the bottom. It's a nice way of finishing off your workout because if you are improving your fitness, then you get a small amount of feedback from your device. So back to the main ride screen. This folder is a way of accessing all your previous data. So it's quite easy to get out your last ride or all rides. So if you've got a smartphone, you can configure the device to communicate with the phone via the Bluetooth setting. This means you can use an app that you download to the phone, which gives you even more functionality, such as live tracking on Garmin Connect. So if someone wants to follow your ride online, then all you need is a phone and a device. You can run this app and not drain the battery on either your phone or the device. So it's quite a clever way of getting around the problems associated with draining batteries on iPhones if you use them as a computer, and draining the battery on the Garmin, which isn't really capable of handling that sort of mobile information. Yeah, I find the swiping easier to do than using buttons on the side, especially when I've got thick gloves on in winter and it's raining. Then I really struggle to hit the button that I want, whereas this works perfectly when it's wet, when it's cold, when your hands don't work, everything. So I think that's a big step up from the Garmin Edge 500 actually, which is all buttons. So going to the settings menu here, another touch. Here's where you can set up different bikes. For example, if you've got a mountain bike and a road bike and a cyclocross bike, you can configure them all via this menu. You can pick an icon for the bike, pick the weight of the bike and everything like that. And within those different bikes, you can also set up different styles of riding for each bike, such as if you're racing, you might want only a few fields of data. If you're training, you might want a lot. If you're just riding around, you might just want an elevation profile and a direction. I've got a training one set up, and there you can pick the color, training pages. Pretty much anything you can think of at the moment is accessible via this activity profile setup. So where does this fit? It's halfway between the 500 and the 800, or the 810. I think the Garmin 510 is purely a training device. You can obviously use it for racing as well. I'm sure more applications will suggest themselves, but if you're touring or if you need maps or anything, then you've got to go for the 810. But the hardcore racers, I think, will probably keep using the Garmin 500 just because it's a little bit smaller and the data is there that they need. Yeah, I'm certainly going to continue using this because I have really liked using the swiping and the touch screen in general. I think it's just an easier way to navigate a cycle computer. And I like to have all the information that this offers at my fingertips.